How much of the song is created in that first burst of inspiration, and how much homework do you have to finish a song?
A lot of it is in that. You know the answer to that.
Do you finish most songs in that first hit?
Yes.
Yeah. And when you don't, do you hate having to finish it at home over the weekend?
Depends on the song. If it's good enough, no. But I will. There was of these songs on the album. This was the most I've given myself homework, actually. Probably 2 or 3 though.
That you have to go write a second verse. How well do you behave in that zone to go get there? Are you excited to do it, or do you have to set aside the time to do it? I have to make
It's a set aside. Yeah,
because you don't get the song.
But it's not even just set aside. It's like set aside with a nice warm drink in a nice. It's like you got to create the atmosphere. It sounds so bougie to like talk like that, but
you know the difference between you and I in this case is that I have a giant digital whiteboard in the middle of my living room,
right?
And I will stand there. You know that GIF of like Charlie Day on. Always Sunny.
See, this is where I don't.
And there's a bunch of papers up on a wall, and he's like feverishly showing things. I become extremely insane in my living room.
That sounds great.
And I'm Goodwill Hunting, and the song is the equation. And I want to get it because you know why I want to get it? Because I don't want to work on it anymore. I want to have it, right? So when you write half a song, and this is why I think a lot of people just write 1 day's worth of a song and move on, because it's an entirely different brain to stand there.
Your music is different. It really is a different caliber of writing. I really believe that. I think there is a level of thought and heart and time that you put into music that is.
Thank you.
It is. I'm not just saying that. It is genuinely different. It truly is. Not even just to compared to like modern music, but to all music in the past. Like even if you go and listen to, John Denver, there's a texture difference.
That's really sweet. And you might be right in terms of the intention of getting it to read across, down, inward, like getting it to work.
That's what makes it beautiful, John Mayer music.
Nah, thank you. But that's
what makes it so quotable.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's highly intentional. And the older I get, the more I have people in my life who I guess feel comfortable enough to just ask me to make one that's just a hip shot. Just make the record that's just
no scope.
But what's really funny is the people who want to go in the studio and do that with me for me in 1 week realize, oh, that's a whole different process you have going on, and I'm here for that. I'm here for the discussion about the word kept on your wall versus taped on your wall.
Yes.
That could be a 5-minute discussion. It turns out I love that stuff, but what I don't love is going home with half a song and having to grab the rest. How long does it take you to get the rest?
I'm pretty I'm pretty quick to say I don't want this or I do want this. I do like this or I don't. Like it's
the song or the pieces you're writing for the song?
Anything but the song.
Yeah.
And so I think the reality is I don't know if it's a discipline thing or just a nature thing, but when I'm making a song, if it doesn't feel deeply upwelling and moving and like literally like I'm gonna vomit out the words, I don't want to write it.
So you will write it if it's moving enough. You just will automatically write it.
It would just write it. I just don't have the energy to like be like, is that maybe?
Yeah, I'm with
you.
You would just start another one and try to hit that one all the way through. Yeah.
I wait for that feeling of song vomit.
Yeah, I
horrible metaphor.
No, it's not. The song vomit to me gets me halfway across. The race.
It gets me like 70-80%.
Gets me 35%.
Wow! Oh my God! You must. You are putting effort.
And then I go home and I write 22 pages.
Did it always? Was it always?
Yeah.
Always?
Except. Look, I mean, I love being honest at this point in my life about all this stuff. There was a lot more waiting for me at the finish line than there is now. And that's what's different, right? And maybe for you, like, this is not your debut album.